Welcome back to Delphi Psychotherapy Billing Software. This video is providing you with one example of something that you can do with the Super Report. There's actually 3 examples in the video on the website under videos, but what we're going to start with is a managed care statistics example. So the Super Report is always accessed from the main screen in Delphi where everything takes place, and by selecting Reports and then Super Report. When you first load a report, we arbitrarily load the name, address, city, state, zip, that type of thing. But you almost are always interested in a little bit more detailed information. So let's click here to erase items shown for a grid. And the Super Report is always client-based or based on the client name. And over on the right, we can pick from various items. I'm going to open up the insurance coverage branch, select the primary insurance, the name and address of the insurance, and check the first box for the name of the insurance company. So we're going to get full name and the PRI-INSCO name line 1, primary insurance company name line 1. I'm going to close the insurance coverage branch, and today we're going to focus on managed care stats. Now, there are several categories here, subject to treatment dates, and this is getting into things like when treatment begins, when it ends, how many days remaining in treatment. Warning days remaining is whatever it might be, the number of sessions allowed, the number of sessions elapsed, and this is all specific to the treatment dates. Today we're going to focus on the stuff that's not subject to treatment dates, and this might be total sessions. If I click on, and maybe let's just do the last session. If I build a new report, fairly quickly I'm going to get a report asking or presenting the client name, the name of their insurance, total sessions, and the date of their last session. So a couple of tricks here. We can grab these columns and move them by clicking on the column header, and I'll click on this one and drag it over to the left and let it go. And in a few seconds I have my entire list of clients sorted by insurance. Now the people up on top, as I scroll to the top, don't have insurance and their total number of sessions. As I scroll down a little bit, here's all my Blue Cross Blue Shield clients that belong to Massachusetts, and all the clients, Hank, Fred, Eric, and Amanda. Let's try something else. Let's move the column back to where it started, and here we have the total number of sessions, and at the bottom we have the total number of sessions for the practice is 81. This would actually probably be a much larger number after you've been using the program for a few years. If we grab the total sessions column and drag it over to the left, the people on top have had the least sessions, and none in this case. The people on the bottom have had the most sessions. Sigmund has had 8 sessions. Again, these numbers would be much larger in a real practice. If I move this back to where it belongs, we may be interested in when the last session occurred. And if I move that over to the left just for sorting, these people haven't been in the practice since 92, 99, 2007, 2008. The people on top have never been in the practice. The people in the bottom, this is the most recent date they came in. So if we're only interested in people that we've seen in the last year, we can always do a filter, and that is by right-clicking anywhere on the screen. I'll right-click, select last session is greater than, and if I click my little drop-down calendar, I'm going to pick December 31st of 2011 and apply filter. Here are only the clients that I've seen this year. I can clear this filter in the bottom right here, and we get back to our original list. And if we want to see, for example, let's put last session back. We want to see the total number of sessions by insurance company. We grab that and make it the far left column. Again, these people on top are not insured, but as we scroll down, here's all of our Blue Shield people, all of our Medicare people. And if we want to apply a filter to see just the Blue Cross people, we could do that, and I'll do that quickly, but I want to show you the right way to do this. I right-click, select PRI-INSCO name line 1, begins with blue, apply the filter, and I get only the Blue Cross clients with the total number of sessions, and the total number of clients that belong to Blue Cross. Remember, these totals down here, if you click the little drop down next to it, will give you the average. The average number of sessions for Blue Cross clients is 2. Total is the count, and the sum of all of those is 26. But like I said, this is not really a good way to do this, because you could be, let me clear the filter and explain this really quickly again. You could potentially have to throw 5, 10, 15, 20 different filters at this list. So instead of doing that, we can always click on subtotal on the first column of the report, and we will boil down. We can't summarize the names, but now at a glance we see that Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts clients have had total sessions of 10, Blue Cross Blue Shield 26, the people who are not insured in this case is 0, Medicare clients 11, or we can just go back to our original report. Let's try one last cool thing. Let's say we want to see people sorted by insurance, which is what we have here, but we're going to open up the medical branch and select the provider of service and now build a new report. So if we grab the provider column and drag it over to the left, we have our practice sorted by the providers within the practice. All the clients that belong to those providers. So provider ABC has 1, 2 clients. Provider DAP has 6 or 7. WSP has the lion's share in this particular practice. And if we wanted to boil down total sessions by provider, we could do a filter, which is kind of the hard way to do it, or we can just click on subtotal, because we're going to subtotal in the first column. So now we're subtotaling the practice based on the provider of service for each client. And again, our total is 81, but now we see who's doing what within the practice. WSP 67. Now finally, I'm going to do one last little variation on this. If I want to see the total number of sessions that have occurred in a given time period, I'll leave all of this stuff alone, and I'll go down back to, instead of total sessions, I'm going to pick sessions by date. In fact, let's do charges by date. And it says you have selected date sensitive material. Please remember to provide a date range for this report. So we're going to do the sessions that have occurred this year only. And if I build a new report, I now get only, and we're warning you again that this is date range specific, that here again, providers. So if we want to see the total charges that have occurred this year by provider, we could do a filter and it would show each. Well, actually, let's do some other trick here. We're cluttering this report up with everybody who has charges of 0. So I'm going to right click and say charges by date is greater than 0. And of our 77 total clients, here are only the people in the practice that have actually had charges. So we're able to boil this down quite nicely. And then if we want to break this down by insurance company, or by, let's just break it down by insurance, and click on subtotal. And here's the total charges that have occurred this year based on insurance. If I put the report, build the report, remember it's date specific. Let me clear the filter. And we want to sort by provider. Keeps on reminding you that it's date specific. Again, here are all the charges that have occurred this year. I can do a subtotal instead of by insurance, this time by provider. And here are the providers within the practice that have brought in charges during this time period. This really is incredibly flexible. That's it for example number 1.